So you downloaded Pokémon Sleep on your phone, and for the first couple days you think, how cute. I'm raising a Snorlax, I'm catching cute Pokemon, I'm cooking meals with them, and then you realize there's more to it than sleeping, cooking, and catching Pokemon. You may be so overwhelmed because there's so much information out there and lack of information on the app as to how to play this game. What are the best natures? What sort of Pokemon should I be catching? When is a good time to use a good camp ticket? And what incense should I use on what days? So the aim of this video is really to provide you with a good foundation of knowledge for this game, certain terms that you might hear in the community as well, some advice to make you a little bit more comfortable in your gameplay. So without further ado, this is my beginner guide to everything you need to know about Pokémon Sleep. This video ended up being a lot longer than I thought, so this will be a video guide series on everything you need to know about Pokémon Sleep. Alright, so I have my game pulled up over here so we could go through this together. So every start of the week, there's a Snorlax on your camp. The colors look different for every map, so you may mistaken it for a shiny, especially when you go to Cyan Beach. I know a lot of people mistaken it for a shiny because it looks green, but it is not a shiny. It's just a variation in color due to regional differences. You can get a shiny though. Your Snorlax can show up shiny. There's no bonuses to this. There's just a cool animation. Every time you go into the screen, you'll see sparkles. Alright, but back to raising your Snorlax. Every start of the week, the Snorlax will start at basic 1. So basic 1, you start at 0 strength, and as you gain more strength through berries, cooking, or main skills that might get triggered, your Snorlax will gain strength and grow in rating. You can keep track of your rating by just tapping on the Master Ball over there, Pokeball, Great Ball, Ultra Ball, it might be for you. But it'll tell you your rating. So I'm at Master 6, and there's currently 213 sleep styles that I can discover in Taupe Hollow, which is the map that I'm on right now. Every time you hit a new rating, you get something called Dream Shards, and Dream Shards will not raise your Snorlax, but they will raise your Pokemon. Alright, so that's the main objective of the game. You raise the strength of your Snorlax, and you try to get it to a very high rating. So when your Snorlax gains enough strength, its rating will go up, and you may find that new Pokemon species will start showing up on your map. After a sleep session, you'll get something called a sleep score. You'll also see your Drowsy Power get accumulated. And then after, there is a snacking session for you to catch Pokemon. So as a reminder, you increase your Snorlax's strength by gathering berries, making it 3 meals a day. And there are also certain main skills such as Charge Strength S and Charge Strength M that will boost the strength of your Snorlax every time they're triggered. So Snorlax strength is not only important for raising your Snorlax, but it's also an important number when it comes to the calculations of your Drowsy Power. So after putting your Snorlax to sleep, the game starts tracking how many hours you're getting with Snorlax for that sleep session. You could track it with your phone, or you could use the Pokeball Go++ device. So several notable things happen after your sleep is done. You wake up in the morning, you end your sleep session. What happens next? You first get a sleep score. So this can be from 1 to 100. 100 being a very good number to achieve. 80 and 90 is still good as well, but 100 is good for maximum benefits. The second thing you'll see is that your Drowsy Power gets calculated. So we spoke about this before. Snorlax strength has a hand on the calculations of your Drowsy Power. So the Drowsy Power is a simple calculation, and I know you guys might be thinking, oh my gosh, math, trust me, I'm the same way, but if I can handle it, you can handle it. Drowsy Power is calculated by your Snorlax's strength multiplied by your sleep score. Alright, so let's start very, very small. Let's say your Snorlax's strength is 1 and your sleep score is 100. Your Drowsy Power is 100. And it's as simple as that. The Drowsy Power number will be important because it determines what kind of species of Pokemon show up on your map, as well as the rarity for them. Higher Drowsy Power will also make it so that more spawns show up on the map as well. After the Drowsy Power is calculated, you're going to enter this screen over here. And this is very fun because you catch new Pokemon. You see what sort of Pokemon slept beside your Snorlax and decided to stick around. And it's your opportunity to befriend Pokemon. So in mainline games, it's called catching Pokemon. Here you don't really catch them because you don't use Pokeballs or anything. You use something called Biscuits. So you befriend Pokemon that you want by handing out Biscuits to them. And right now in the game, if I do not include the legendary event Biscuits, there are 4 Biscuits in the game. Poke Biscuit, Great Biscuit, Ultra Biscuit, and Master Biscuits. And they behave differently from each other, so there are situations where you might want to use a Poke Biscuit, you might want to use an Ultra Biscuit, you might want to use a Master Biscuit. But essentially you befriend Pokemon by giving them biscuits to fill up their friendship bar. And you may notice from your own gameplay that some base evolutions require less friendship points compared to their first stage or second stage evolutions that require a bit more biscuits. You may also notice that Pokemon that do not evolve like Ditto require a bit more biscuits than base evolution Pokemon as well. One good tip that's really good to note is that when there are same species Pokemon on the map, they actually share friendship bars. So if one Pokemon gets full from the attempt, you can actually just go to the other Pokemon on your map and try to catch that one instead. And yes, there are opportunities to catch shiny Pokemon. So as of right now, I think the shiny odds are still up in the air, but some people speculate that it's 1 out of 450 like in Pokemon Go, while others say that the number is closer to 1 in 410. Shiny Pokemon always appear hungry, so if you miss the sparkle animation the first time, you will at least know that it is a shiny because shinies always show up as hungry. So keep an eye out for that. Now when it comes to shinies in particular, if they show up on your map, only feed it a Poke Biscuit because it is a guaranteed capture. So don't waste your other biscuits on it, just use a Poke Biscuit. So Poke Biscuits give you 1 friendship points, Great Biscuits give you 3 friendship points, Ultra Biscuits give you 5 friendship points, and Master Biscuits is a big hit. It is a guaranteed capture. There are events where there's legendary Pokemons in this game and they will have their own biscuit, and those biscuits will give you 6 points. Pokemon do get full during feeding, so the Pokemon that you're trying to befriend will never get full off the first biscuit. It's after the second, third, and etc. biscuits that there is a 50-50 chance for it to get full. So let's say I have a Pikachu, I feed it the first biscuit, everything's good. I feed it the second biscuit. There's a 50-50 chance it's either going to continue to want more biscuits or it's going to get full. There's another biscuit that I didn't mention. It's called a bonus biscuit, and this is a free biscuit that you get, and you get 1 a day for your sleep session. And the bonus biscuit gives you 3 friendship points. So when hungry Pokemon show up, what happens is that the biscuit that you give them will be multiplied by 3. So big hits are a very nice thing to see, especially on Pokemon that have no evolution, just because you save so much cookies on trying to befriend it. So consider yourself lucky if you get a big hit. So if I give it a Poke Biscuit, it'll give it 3 points. If I give it a Great Biscuit, it'll total up to 9 points. You should not be using a Master Biscuit on a hungry Pokemon though, because remember, it is a guaranteed capture with the Master Biscuit. Now sometimes you might get really lucky and get something called a mega hit or a critical capture, and the animation for it looks like a huge heart surrounded by other tiny little hearts. And you'll see this for Pokemon that are guaranteed captures and for shiny Pokemon and regular Pokemon as well if you get really lucky. If there are certain Pokemon that you do want to catch, you might be interested in something called sleep styles. So depending on how you slept for the night, the game will determine whether or not you are one of the 3 sleep styles, which is dozing, snoozing, or slumbering. So depending on your sleep style that you get from your sleeping session, you may notice that Pokemon of the same sleep style will show up in your sleep. There is actually a way to manipulate the type of sleep style that you get if there are certain Pokemon that you're hoping to meet. I'm not going to cover it in this video, but if you guys are interested, I will make a separate video that goes deeper into this. But that will be pretty much what we will cover for sleep styles for this video. The final thing I want to talk about when it comes to sleep research is the impact of Drowsy Power. So we are going to talk about Drowsy Power again. A higher Drowsy Power allows you to meet rarer Pokemon and unlock rarer sleep styles. So there are 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, and 4-star sleep styles. Not every Pokemon is going to have all of those sleep styles. Some may have only 1, while others may have only 3. The important thing to note about the rarity of the sleep style is that the higher the rarity, so the higher the star rating, the more dream shards you get, the more research EXP you get, and the more candies that you get from the Pokemon as well. So if we take a look at this Pokemon over here at 1-star sleep style and then compare it to its 3-star counterpart, you will see that you get more dream shards and more research EXP. I do want to note though that higher star rating does not mean you get a better Pokemon. So the game starts from Monday to Sunday, so Sunday will naturally be the day that you get the highest strength in your Snorlax, as well as the highest Drowsy Power. Alright, so you're done your sleep session. You think that's it, but there's more to it. You'll get a screen. It shows a summary of all the Pokemon that decided to visit you during your sleep. And you also get the opportunity to pick a portrait. This is actually really important because this portrait will determine what candies your friends will get from you. So it's in your best interest to send good candies, but don't worry about what's good if you're a new player. Just send out what you can or send out your favorite. That's nice too. If it's a shiny, even better, flex your shiny find. But as you progress in Pokemon Sleep, you'll quickly realize that there is a tier to this, and certain Pokemon are favored over others. So some candies are more than happy to be received than other candies. But for new players, don't stress about it too much. Send out what you can. Don't worry about it too much if you don't know what's good, what's not. If you're not sure, it's always safe to just ask your friends what sort of candies they're looking for, what sort of Pokemon that they're trying to raise, and that way you can be a little bit more mindful of what kind of candies that you send out. So sleeping is great, not just for us, but also our Pokemon, because it'll recover their energy the same way it helps recover our energy. So getting a sleep score of 100% is very nice because you will wake up with 100% energy. There are cases to this where that might not be it, especially if you have Pokemon with energy down nature. All things considered equal, we're just going to say that at 100% sleep score, you should expect 100% energy. But wait, what about the Pokemon that are in your box? Do they recover energy as well? Yes, they do. So if you don't have a healer yet, you might notice that your energy depletes throughout the day as your helper Pokemon are helping you raise your Snorlax. So there might be cases where you just rotate Pokemon out and you might have some Pokemon in your Pokebox that are low energy. Actually, in my Pokebox, I have a Pokemon that isn't fully recovered of energy. So the Pokemon in your Pokebox recovers some energy as well, but just how much energy do they recover? Well, the answer is that energy equal to 5% of your sleep score will be recovered. So if you get 100% sleep score, you get 5 energy recovered to the Pokemon in your Pokebox. So to give you an example, a Pokemon with 0 energy on the previous day will recover 5 energy the next morning if you got a sleep score of 100. And you could raise this number a bit higher. Let's say you're using a recovery incense. Pokemon in your Pokebox can recover 10% of your sleep score. Normally though, I don't recommend using a recovery incense if you know you're going to get a sleep score of 100. It's better to use them on naps or on instances where you know you're going to go to bed at nighttime but you're not going to get the full night rest that you need in order to get a 100% sleep score. And there are adjustments to energy recovery based on Pokemon's nature as well. So if Millie, for example, had energy recovery down, the energy recovery that it gets while it's in the box will be a little lower than 5. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on future videos.